Hello, in our next tutorial we will show you how to edit the gallery page on your website. Upon logging in and being greeted with your dashboard, we will use our mouse cursor to navigate to pages and select all pages. Next, we can either search for gallery in the search bar, or we can scroll through the list until we locate it. Hovering over it, we will select Edit with Elementor, and we will allow the page to load fully before we continue. As you can see, the gallery has loaded, and next we will use our mouse cursor to select the gallery, and we will see the option on the left appear. We can see that we have set the type to single, however we can change it to multiple. We will leave that as is, my apologies, and next we can actually choose the images we wish to edit. By selecting the Edit button, a window will appear where we are able to edit the gallery. Here we can either choose to reorder the images by simply dragging and dropping it, or we can choose to remove an image. We can also have the option to add to gallery, and for this tutorial I will simply be adding these 4 logos. We will select Add to Gallery, and we will see by default the new additions are added at the end. However, we can reorganize it by simply dragging and dropping. Once we are happy, we will select Insert Gallery, and we will see that the gallery will update. As you can see, I should have the last 3 images being the logo, the 4th last image being this image, and then a logo before that. So scrolling down, we have the logo, the last image, and then we have 3 additional logos. Now we can go back to edit this gallery, and we will simply remove these additional images. Once we are happy, we will select Insert Gallery, and it will refresh again, as you can see there. Next, we can see that we can order by default, and that is how we have ordered it in the section before. We can also choose to lazy load, as well as change the layout. As you can see, we have set it to justify to get this collage effect. Next, we can change the row height, as well as the spacing, as you can see here. We will set that back to 10, and we will continue. Next, our link will take us to the media file, meaning that if we use the select image, it will actually open the image in full size, as seen here. Next, we can have an overlay, and as you can see, we have the background selected to yes, as you can see there. Next, we can have the title be the caption. Therefore, if we have a caption added to this image, it will appear when we hover over it. However, you can see that we do not have any captions, so they do not appear. We will set that back to default, and the same can be done with the description of the image. Moving on to the styling section, here we can choose the image background, or my apologies, the border color, which we can simply choose here. We can choose the border width, as well as the border radius. As you can see, the border radius will be the edging of this. We will now set that back to default, and we will continue. Next, we have come to our hover animation, and as you can see, we can change that. We can select that to move up, so that when you hover over it, the image actually animates. We can choose any option here, and you can see the effects happen. Next, we have come to our overlay, and as you can see, we can choose to have an overlay by selecting the type. We can choose our color, and you will see the effects happen live. We will now set that back to default, and we will continue. The blend mode we do not need to worry about, as well as the hover animation. My apologies, the hover animation we can edit, and by selecting a type from the left, we will see what will appear. As you can see, that hover animation is affecting the overlay, which we can see bounce up and down. We will select that back to none, and we'll move on to our content. Here we can change the alignment, the vertical position, the padding, the hover animation, as well as the animation duration. Lastly, in our advanced tab, you do not need to worry about this, as we can see that the margining and the padding is set to default. Again, we can go to our motion effects, and in here we can add scrolling effects, mouse effects, make the option sticky, and change the entrance animation. By selecting the type, we will see that the whole gallery will slide in from the right. My apologies, will fade in from the right. We will select that back to default, and we will continue. Here we can change the background, the border, the positioning, and so forth. And our responsiveness attributes and custom CSS you can ignore, as this is for more in-depth development. Once you're happy with the changes made to your gallery, you'll simply select Update at the bottom left. That is how you would edit the gallery on your website.